as we said off the top of the show, Justin, your middle name not be jet lagged right now from everything you've gone playing, covering the U.S. Open for Sky Sports at Shinnecock, then going across the country or halfway across the country to Minneapolis area, the Twin Cities, and Hazeltine for the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. So I asked you this in the show session and the show meeting before we got started. In your mind, what's a bigger story coming out of this? Who won or who didn't win?
So I'll start with what I think is the biggest overall story, and that's the biggest purse in the history of women's golf, which was announced before the championship started, $13 million. To give you perspective, 2019 was the last time this championship was held at Hazeltine. The purse was under $4 million. That's an incredible amount of growth, and the unbelievable commitment that KPMG has made into women's golf. I commend them for that. To your question, look, Nelly's story 1, 2, and 3, right? When it comes to this tour right now, and when you tie for 8th at a major championship and it's viewed as some kind of disaster, that kind of speaks to where you are in the sport. That ties, by the way, tied for 8th ties her worst stroke play finish of 2026.
That's crazy.
Yikes! I mean, she's still
that's better than the way Scotty's played this year.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, she's been incredible. Haeran Ryu, great story. One of the best ball strikers of women's golf for the last several years. She was held a share of the 54-hole lead at Chevron in both 2024 and 2025 when it was at Carlton Woods, but didn't get over the finish line. So good to see her break through. I think it was kind of inevitable that she was going to get one of these major championships eventually, and she was able to do it. It was great to see Brooke Henderson performing again at an elite level. Somehow it was the 10-year anniversary of her winning as an 18-year-old a major championship. Crazy. So she's not even 30 yet, and she's having 10-year anniversary retrospectives on what she's achieved. So some other great stories. And I'm a big fan of seeing 4 probable Solheim Cup players finishing in the top 8. Allison Lee continuing to play great golf. Allison Corpuz, Austin Kim, and of course Nelly. So those are big stories. Davey Weber was a great story. She's about to become a mom for the first time, and she basically doubled her career earnings with the $750,000 check.
That helps.
That speaks to the purse too. I mean, it's kind of unprecedented money when it comes to the women's game. So the MVP of Sunday, if number 1 was Haeran Ryu holding on for the victory, it has to be the grounds crew at Hazeltine, because on my drive from the hotel out to the golf course, I couldn't see out the windshield. It was raining so hard. I thought, I'm going to turn right back around and we're going to finish this thing on Monday. An hour after I had that thought, they were back out on the golf course. It was an unbelievable performance by the grounds crew at Hazeltine. So big shout out to them. But it was a tremendous week. There's going to be plenty of buzz going into the next major championship, was just a couple weeks away at the Evian Championship in France. And then the AIG Women's Open is 2 weeks after the Men's Open. So still got some major championship golf on the schedule here in the women's game.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was just looking at the schedule. This is really a pretty impressive stretch they have coming up. We've got the Evian Championship, as we said, coming up in a week, and then we've got the Women's Scottish Open, and follow that by the Women's Open. And people, again, need to realize that 2 of those events are majors. So there's an opportunity for Nelly to potentially win 1 or 2 more based on how you saw her play. Again, T8, what the hell happened? It just doesn't make any sense. Do you see her fitting in potentially to win a 3rd major, more likely at Evian or at Lytham and St. Anne's for the Women's Open through the end of July and the first few days of August?
Look, when you're on the road as much as I am this summer, as I currently am in a hotel room playing at a tournament in May, you stop caring about what you're wearing and you matter how it feels. Light, breathable, comfortable. It looks put together without trying to look like it's put together. And that's why I keep coming back to Quince. We're talking about European pants and shirts, linen for $34, organic cotton tees, absolutely. Lightweight sweaters for those late-night chilly evenings after a round, they are absolutely perfect. And the quality is real, and the markup, well, it isn't there. They cut out the middleman and work with ethical companies so they don't pass any of that extra cost on to you. It is just what you get in the product, and the product is fantastic. No, by the way, Quince goes way beyond clothes. We're talking custom sofas, ceramic cookware, premium bedding, and once you go to them, I can promise you, you will go to them for everything, and you will tell everyone about how good the Quince products are. That's been my experience. Elevate your summer wardrobe. Go to quince.com/wingo for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/wingo for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/wingo.
I would lean more towards the AIG Women's Open. Evian has generated a lot of randomness over the years where I won't say the best player hasn't always been revealed, but there's been a lot of kind of quirky outcomes. It's a blast to watch coming down the stretch because you have no idea what's going to happen. Ask Gino Tinnekun last year, who got caught by Grace Kim, and Grace Kim won her first major championship. It always generates a really fun finish, but it doesn't always. It's not very conducive to a very predictive outcome. So, as far as her game last week, I would say if you had to compare, sometimes Rory McIlroy is a little bit beleaguered for his wedge play and not taking advantage of opportunities. There was a stretch Nelly had on the weekend where over the course of about 14 opportunities from 80 to 130 yards from the fairway, she made 2 birdies. So she really had some opportunities with her scoring clubs and just didn't necessarily take advantage of them. Improving on that going into these next 2 major championships would be key for her, but it's little tweaks. It's nothing that needs to be, and no kind of massive overhaul is needed. She got to within 2 shots in the final round, headed to the back 9, and I thought, all right, if she birdies this next par 5, game on. She made par, and she couldn't quite catch Haeran.
Again, if T8's the worst you're going to do, you're doing pretty well. So we'll see what happens with Nelly going forward.
Am I slightly biased with the jersey behind me? I mean,
no, not at all.
No,
not at all.
Not at all.
Were you at all concerned with how Charlie Hull played after how well she played at Riv at the Women's Open?
Yeah, look, it was a little surprising for some of the biggest names in the sport. Hannah Green won in 2019. The last time it was there, she missed the cut. Minjee Lee, the defending champion from Frisco, missed the cut, and then Charlie missed the cut. It was it was a little bit surprising, but I'd chalk it up to more of it. It's golf. It's a long season, and it was a bad first couple of days for those players. But it was a little bit surprising. And then the cast of characters we had coming down the stretch. Brooke Henderson hasn't played particularly well this season, which is why it was such a nice surprise to see her near the top of the leaderboard with a chance to win. And then a journeywoman like Davy Weber, who now is in a position to possibly be on the Solheim Cup team for Team Europe in her native Netherlands, something that was totally off the radar even a week ago at this time.
Okay, so we'll see what happens going there. And again, a really great stretch for the women coming up, starting from the middle of July to the end of August with the Evian Championship, the Women's Scottish Open, and then the Women's Open at Royal Lytham and St. Anne's, which I believe was last held there Jordan won in 2017 at Birkdale. So I think the last time we had the men's play there was 2012, I believe, when Adam Scott was caught from behind by Ernie Els.
That was a crazy day.
That was absolutely nuts. The thing I remember most about that is Adam Scott was up 4 with 4 to play and lost without going to a playoff.
Unbelievable.
It was 4 up
crazy
4 to
finish.
play.
Yeah.
And those bunkers at Lytham and St. Anne's, they're no joke, and they are everywhere on that golf course.